Hello everybody. This is gonna be a quick video on how I'm building simple structures, buildings in Blender, and this will be for use in Carda Station Metaverse built on Cardano. So after you download the Blender, install it and everything, you open it for the first time, you should see a screen like this. You always start with a camera, light, and a cube. So I'm just gonna delete the camera and I'll hit the shift and click on the light as well and just delete it. On a Mac I'll just press X to delete stuff after I highlight them. Alright, now the cube, I'm gonna bring it above those X, Y lines. It always starts the cube is right in the center of it, like this. And in Carda Station everything is above these lines. So I want to bring it up above it. So I'm gonna be moving it upwards, which will be the Z line, Z axis. So I'm gonna grab it by hitting the G. Now I'm gonna hit the ZX. There we go, highlights. And now I can move it above. Or I can just go with the arrow up and down, like so. Now I forgot to press enter. I'm gonna do it one more time because I forgot to hit this magnet tool, or snapping tool. So now it should move by I think by one cube. So I'll hit G, Z, and see it's snapping by one block or one square. Okay, now I'm right above the lines. There we go. Now if it's your first time, we'll show you scaling. So right now this one little square is 1 meter, and this cube therefore is 2 by 2. You can see it by hitting I believe it's N. Yep, I got the transform button here, dimensions on the bottom. So you got 2 by 2 by 2, and because I'm building it for, alright, now this one, let me minimize this. I'm building it for Carda Station, so the X axis starts in the minus and goes to right in plus. The Y axis from the bottom up, and unfortunately, to make it more difficult, the orientation when you put it in Carda Station is basically the other way. So this is exactly like it's in the map in the Carda Station. You get the minus and plus X, minus Y, plus Y. But if I'll deploy it this way, it's gonna be upside down. So I'm gonna turn it this way so that the minus is the other way. So now I got a plus here and plus here. And now if I'll deploy it this way, if I'll save it this way, it's gonna be correct in the Carda Station world. So I'm gonna have a plot basically 2 by 1, and the 2 is on the axis. So I'm gonna make this one the longest. So each plot is 15 by 15, plus we gotta have 1.5 meter on the edges to allow space to walk or drive. So 15 and 15 is 30 meters, but minus 3, so that's 27. So I'm gonna make it 27. If you have only one plot, you're gonna be building 12 by 12, so you have 1.5 meter on each side. But because I got adjacent plots, 2 next to each other, I don't need to leave space between them. So that's what's nice about adjacent plots. You get a lot bigger buildable space. Same thing with when you have your plot by the road or by the cliff or unbuildable space, then you can build. You don't need to leave that 1.5 meter there, if that makes sense. All right, so I got 2 meters here, so I'm gonna change it to 27. The Y, I'm gonna do 12 meters because it's kind of in the middle. I don't have it next to the road or unbuildable space, so I gotta do 12 meters. 12. And the Z, how high I want it to be. I'll do 15 because this is actually not the build, this is just my reference point for the build, so I know how high I can go. There we go. Now I'm gonna zoom out, and again I gotta bring it above the lines. So I'm gonna hit G as grab, Z, that's the line I'm gonna move it over, and I'll bring it up. There we go. Okay, and it went too high. Alright. So I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Move. These are my good for mouse, so that I can move it, I can rotate it, scale it. Alright, so like I said, this is just for a reference. So I'm gonna disable the view, hide in viewport, so that's gone. And let's start with our simple structure. So I'm gonna add a mesh. You're always using meshes, and I'm gonna use cylinder. That's my cylinder, and I'll hit this or add cylinder. And these are like this, you only get this window in the beginning, so before you start moving it, you can make your preferences here. So what radius I want. So because I got 12 meters on the one side, I want the radius to be 6. Depth, I want it to be that 27 meters, 27, and I hit enter. Oh, okay, 27. There we go. Now I can rotate it 90 degrees. There. Now I'm gonna hit view I'm gonna hit this view so I can see it dead center. Now I'll hit this view, that's an X-ray view. Or actually, first I'm gonna switch to the edit mode. So now you can see these little points. Those are the vertices. These are the edges. So you can see each edge, this round edge, and these are the faces. So you see this whole face and these faces in here. So I'll go to vertices, again hit it so I'm dead straight, and now I'm gonna delete all these vertices down here, and I'm gonna keep these. That's gonna be basically the structure. So I'm gonna highlight all these vertices, and you can see I only highlighted half of them, so that's why I gotta turn this X-ray mode so I can see through stuff. Okay, so again, this time I'm highlighting everything, as you can see. Alright, press X to delete, and I'm gonna delete the vertices. There we go. I got my simple roof structure. So now I'm gonna stay in edit mode, stay in the X-ray mode, and I'm gonna add the floor. So again, got a nice view from the side. Highlight my bottom vertices only. Now I go to vertex, and I'll go to new edge or face from vertices, and my floor is there. Nice and simple. Okay, so as long as I'm here, I'm gonna make also side. So I'm gonna close this off. Now I'm not saying this is the best way to do it. This is just how I do it. Baggy Pants and JJPO are better builders. They have more experience. They probably learned a little bit more with how to use Blender. So this is just me doing beginner stuff, and if you guys need more help, they will be the more right people to help with more advanced stuff. Alright, so again I'm gonna select all these vertices that are on the side. Nothing selected on this side, and I'm gonna hit again vertex and new edge. There we go, I got new face here. Same thing on the other side. Vertex, new edge. Here you go, now it's all closed off. Now if I go to back to object mode, I'm gonna turn off the X-ray. So this is my structure now, all sealed up. And as you can see, I cannot click anything, right? So now I gotta separate what I added on. Yeah, I'm just gonna separate just the floor for now. So I'm going back to the edit mode. This time I'm gonna select the faces, not the vertices. I want the whole face selected. Face. So now you can see I can select all the faces here, or separate faces. Okay, so this is my floor. I right click and I'll scroll down to separate selection. That's what's selected, and here we go. I got a new selection here. That's my floor, so right away I'm gonna rename it to floor, like so. So now I can grab the floor. Let me go back to object mode, and as you can see I can deselect the floor. Okay, so now we're gonna if I'll zoom in, you can see that everything is like paper thin. Alright, so if you want to make doors, you need to add thickness to it, otherwise it's not gonna work. It's gotta have some thickness to it. So I'll start with the floor, go to this spanner wrench, and we'll add modifier, and we want solidify modifier, and how much you want it to be thick. I usually go for 0.1. 0.1 meter, so that's pretty good thickness. Okay, so for some reason I made the thickness in here on top, not on my floor. So I'm gonna select my floor, add modifier, solidify, and again 0.1. Here we go. So I got floor, I got the roof. Now I'll go back to edit mode, and this time I'm gonna go back to X-ray, and this time I'm gonna add a frame. So I'm gonna make a frame for my roof, make it a little more realistic, you know, so I got some framing in there. So I'm gonna make this loop cut. Alright, so I'm gonna make a one loop cut here. I slide it here, another one, another one. So I got three, I added 3 loop cuts. Good. Now we're gonna do bevel, because right now if I'll jump out of here, go to object mode, you don't see any change. So I'll go back to edit mode. This is my bevel over here. Oh yeah, I forgot, I gotta highlight everything. I'm gonna highlight all the edges. So X-ray mode on. Alright, and do my bevel. Now I'm gonna grab it. Let me actually go so I see a little better. There. And you can see how I can make the frame like really thick or tiny. So I go for like, I don't know, it's up to you, whatever you want. I think this is good. I'm gonna add some color to it now. Let's get this rid of this modifier. No, go here. So I'm still in edit mode. I'm gonna select all these panels. Yeah, I gotta do faces like this. And now I want to select all of them, but I don't want to select the framing. I just want to select these panels. So the way I'm gonna do it is by I believe it's a Shift plus G. So Shift G, and we'll do polygon sides. So that will select basically all the similar shapes. Here we go. But it looks like it selected everything. Okay. So let's try this again. Shift G, and let's do perimeter. Select similar vertices. There we go. That's it. Alright, and it didn't select the ones on the bottom, which is great because I wanna leave it same material as the sides, and this top basically is gonna be the glass, so I'm gonna do that. And I think I'm gonna leave this the same material as well, so I'll hit Shift and I'll just click these 4. Same thing on the other side, Shift and click each face. Alright, and this is gonna be the only glass area, so I'm gonna make a new material properties. I'll hit the plus add material slot there. I'll hit new, and I got my new material, so I'm gonna rename it to glass, and let's make a glass. So I'm gonna slide all of it. This is just the color, so let's say you want it to be blue. It's gonna make the selection on the entire build because I don't have any materials on it. It's just one, so then we're gonna jump and do the other material. So for now I'm just gonna leave this white or blank. I scroll down all the way to settings, blend mode, that's what I want, and I'm gonna change it to alpha blend. That's gonna be that's gonna give it that glass look, so we can see through it. Alpha blend, here we go. You can already see that we are seeing through. Now the alpha, I wanted to lower it down. There we go. See, it's your preference. You play with it how you want it to look. I usually go around 0.1, 0.2, somewhere there. And next important one for the glass would be metallic and roughness. So the roughness, let's lower the roughness down. You can see it doesn't make much change, just a little like a reflection. Alright, so I'm gonna leave it again somewhere around 0.1, 0.2. And metallic, I want it to be a little higher. Metallic is what's gonna give it that nice reflection too. Okay, you can play with these settings. It's up to you how you want it to look. Alright, so now I got my window done. Let's see it in object mode. There we go. That's my window. We're gonna fine-tune it later on. Let's play with the frame now. So I'll go back to edit mode. And now I want to select the frame. So since I have the windows highlighted, now I'm gonna do invert the selection, and let's see if I remember it. I think it's let's try Command I. Yes, good. Command I, invert. Alright, and I'm gonna give it a little industrial look. That's what I'm going for anyway. So I'm gonna make new material, so I'm gonna add another slot, new material, and I'm gonna name it frame. Doesn't matter how you name it. And what color are we gonna do? I'm gonna do gray, or not gray, silver. That's what I'm going after. So I'm gonna leave the color white, and I'll do metallic. Yeah, I want it to be metallic quite a lot. And roughness, I'll lower it down some. I gotta assign the color. I gotta assign the material. I forgot to do that. So frame and hit assign. There we go. Now I can just jump between frame and glass, and I can change it. So glass, let's try and give it a different tint. So I go to base color and do purple. Now you can see I got a little purple tint. You can play with it, do whatever you like. Yeah, just be careful not to make it too dark, because then the lighting on the inside, it's gonna affect the lighting on the inside. The brighter it is, the more light you're gonna have on the inside. It looks a little milky. Let me play with that roughness. Yeah, see, gives you better reflection when you put the roughness all the way down. So I'm gonna leave just a little bit. Yeah, I like that. That looks better. What about the metallic? I'll add a little more metallic, yeah. Good. That's a good reflection right there. Okay, I got this highlighted. The whole section is highlighted. So again, wrench. I'm happy with the thickness, so I'm gonna apply it. Now add modifier, and we're gonna cut a hole for my door lock. So I need to add mesh cube. Gonna add a cube. Move it in the middle here. Now I want the cube to be 2.5 meters high, so that Rocco will fit through it easily. Hold on, that's Z, so height will be 2.5. And Y, X Y axis, that's this one. I got 2 meters. Yeah, 2 meters is fine. And the X doesn't matter, but I don't. I'm gonna change it to 1. There. Okay. So I'll hit highlight it and bring it up. Now I gotta undo the magnet, the snap, and line it up on the bottom. There. And now I gotta go through the wall so that it's in the middle. And now I'm gonna make a copy. So I'll do Command V. No, sorry, Command copy and Command V. Okay. I'll hit the snap and I'll move the copy more forward for future use. Just get it out of the way for now. And let's cut the hole. Add modifier and Boolean. That's for cutting the holes in the objects. I'll just care about this eye droplet tool. You hit that and you select the box you're cutting with. There. Now we got a hole in there. Alright, so this cube is my cube number 1. So I'm gonna drag it to the cylinder and hit shift. Now I'm gonna hold shift and release my mouse. And that's what that does is, as you can see the cube, I parented the cube to the cylinder so that now I can actually let me show you first. Now the cube I gotta delete, not delete, just disable it so you cannot see it. There we go. I got a nice hole. Now I'm gonna show you why I parented it, because now I can actually move the cube and the hole moves with it. See that? That's pretty cool. See that? I'm gonna disable it. I got the hole up there. See? So I'm gonna move it down again because I want it to be down in the center. This is why I always have this snap feature, the one with the magnet, because it always goes in the position where you started it. Okay. Disable the view. Nice. And now we're gonna make the airlock. So there are 2 ways of doing it. This will be the first. This might be easy for someone. Like this. Like this. And you just basically scale it. And then we would make another Boolean inside of it, inside of this cube, so that you have the thickness you want, depending how big the cube you make. But I think it's a little easier. We're gonna do both ways. Okay, I'll show you guys. Alright, so this will be the first. So the red axis is the X. Alright, so X. I'm gonna go 3 meters. There. if you want your airlock to work with the avatars, so that the Rako avatar is outside in the spacesuit, and you go through the airlock, there will be some kind of animation playing and you changing into your indoor avatar. And for this to work, the airlock needs to be 3 meters deep, so that's important. So I got 3 meters there. Now I'm just gonna make a hole in here. So I'm gonna add modifier. Let's rename this airlock. Okay, now I'm gonna copy, paste, Command V, and I'm gonna resize this, and I'm just gonna hit this scale here, the manual scale, because I want it to be, it's gotta be longer. Remember, if we're cutting through, we need to see it on both sides, like this. And now I'm just gonna scale, yeah, now I can scale everything, S and down. There. This looks pretty good, this thickness. Airlock 001. So that's that is the new cube. So I'm gonna parent it to the airlock. I always parent it to make it more tidy. So now it's underneath here. Okay. I gotta select my original airlock, the bigger, that one. Add modifier, Boolean. Get the eyedropper and select my. Let's see if that worked. Yeah, there we go. I got my airlock done. Now I'm gonna show you the other option. So just get this out of the way. Highlight the building. Go to edit mode. Okay. That's because I have the modifier open still. So I gotta apply it. Now when I apply it, I won't be able to move the opening anymore. Right now I can still move it by, moving the box. But once the modifier is applied, I cannot do that anymore, so be careful. I'll hit apply. Now I can go to edit mode and select my vertices, and I'll make an airlock from these vertices. I'm going to show you. So I'm going to highlight the outside vertices only. You can do the inside ones too, doesn't matter. But be careful, you select only the outside or only the inside. Don't mix it up, that's gonna mess it up. Okay, I have that. Now we're gonna extrude, and we're gonna extrude along this red X line. So extrude region and press X, and now I can do this. Okay, for some reason it's extruding slightly higher. Okay, I'm not sure why. but that's okay. Well, we're gonna do this. I still have them selected. So I can just easily move it. And it's not snapping correctly, so I gotta undo this and do it manually. Now I gotta select the sides. And I'm gonna detach it from this building. So I'm gonna do separate, selection. And I quickly rename it to Airlock. Airlock 1. Airlock 2. Airlock 2. There. Now I can jump out from edit mode. And I can set origins, because right now I got the move tool in the back. I don't want that. Set origin to center of mass. There. Now I can move it back, front, whatever. This. And also we gotta add a modifier and solidify it because it's paper thin. Solidify, and again 0.1 should do. There. Great. I'm just gonna align it. And that's my airlock. Now, see, I got two. I got this one, I got this one. And for this purpose, because I got the floor here, I don't need to have a floor on the airlock because I'm gonna have the floor there. So, yeah, do whatever you like to do better. I'm gonna delete this. There. I gotta make airlock doors now. Add again mesh. I can either do plane, add modifier to solidify, or I can just add the cube. And I can just line it up. So I'll put it in the middle because I gotta scale it so it covers the hole. A little more scaling. If you make it bigger, it's better, so you don't have any gaps. And I'm gonna scale this way. How thick you want the airlock to be. Alright. I'll move it back there. If you want it to be sticking out or be flushed or more on the inside, it's up to you. Actually, I don't want it to be on the inside because I made the airlock 3 meters long, and if I'll make it on the inside, it may not work with the avatars, so I'm gonna make it flush or sticking out a little bit. Can always adjust it later. Alright, now I'm gonna add color to it, material. Airlock. It's gonna be named Airlock material. And for some reason I like to do like gold. I gotta add lower the roughness. I want it to be shiny, and add metallic. There, yeah. I might make it more lighter. Yeah, because on the moon everything is a little dark, so I like to work with lighter colors. Okay, now we're just gonna copy. Command copy, Command V, and we got another airlock here, so I'm gonna move it back. And I am gonna name it. We need to name it correctly, otherwise the airlock won't work automatically. So this is gonna be my airlock underscore exterior, and this is gonna be my airlock interior underscore interior. Great. Now we're gonna add the floor. Actually, I gotta make a color to the floor. So hit a slot, and I don't want to make too many different kinds of materials because that's taking up a space and resources. We want it to be as efficient as possible. The less stuff you have, the faster it's gonna perform, the faster it's gonna load in the world. So if you're driving with a rover and you have a lot of stuff in there, a lot of vertices, a lot of items, a lot of material, it's gonna load faster, and you drive past in your rover and you're not gonna see it because it's still gonna be loading up. So the less stuff you have, the better, the faster it's gonna show up, and you're gonna be able to see it as you driving. Okay, so I'm gonna use probably the frame, same color as the frame, silver. Okay, boom, and we're done. So that's it. That's about it. It was a little longer than I wanted to be, but it is done.